Welcome to today's event where we have the pleasure to present Audientes. To help us through today's presentation and answer questions in the end, we are joined by CEO Sten Thyssen. Today's topic, Q1 results, business update, what so far has happened this year business-wise, and of course this preferred rights emission that you're conducting right now, details about that. As always, you can ask questions in the box down below. Do it in Danish. I will try and translate to the best of my ability, but today we will do this in English. If you prefer Danish, then we did what I would say almost the same 5 days ago, so you might want to watch that instead. As always, you're very welcome to ask questions down there. But for now, I think I will hand the call over to you, Sten.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome to this webinar. And as you said, Michael, this is really today about what has happened so far this year, and also what are we now working on with this rights issue and where this is going to take us this year. So now is the time, 3:30 in the afternoon, time to grab a cup of coffee as our friendly user here has done, and let's dive into it. So the points on the agenda today will take us quite well through where we are as a company, who we are as a company, and of course the whole rights issue set of information. So just for those who are not acquainted with Audientes already, we are an innovator in personalized hearing solutions. We're a Danish health company, and we are specializing really within the area of hearing aids and advanced hearables. Today we have two main parts to our business. One is our product sales business. This is our original business, where we are basically developing, manufacturing, and selling hearing aids and hearable products. And target users are really all those around the world who are currently without a good solution for their hearing loss for various reasons, but typically related to access and basically cost. The other part of our business that we have launched recently is our software platform licensing, where we are leveraging the development we have done till date in actually working with other OEMs and brands on creating products that are basically addressing their desire to go to market with something within the hearing and audio space. And I'll of course get back to this a bit later. So why are we basically focusing on you can say these areas of the world where there is not very high penetration of hearing aids? Well, that is because globally this is really a significant problem. 500 million people in the world today has disabling hearing loss, and the bulk of these people today does not have actually any solution to alleviate their hearing loss. So 60% of those, according to the WHO, actually residing in Asia. These are typically middle-income countries where people are either not having the ability to buy kind of good hearing aids, or they cannot access them for various reasons related to distance and geographical issues and so on. So this has been our focus from the outset. We're also today active in other countries, including in Japan, and of course in Europe, but I will get back to that. But for us, this is our original key area of focus. This is why we are talking so much about these unique requirements in those parts of the world. Our target personas include the users that has not had a hearing aid before, but need one and is sort of taking the first step, perhaps in the direction of something that doesn't look like a classic clinical hearing aid, but more as a lifestyle device like ours, designed as a headset. And really, you can say, looking for something simple that is great with media. And other, you can say, users in that category include the existing user that has already a hearing aid, but needs something maybe to enjoy media streaming or television watching, where you need something to really beef up the sound, but with a really good quality, so you can enjoy the sort of comprehensive sound experience. And then, of course, the pensioner. We know there's many people out there with age-related hearing loss, and still there is many of these that doesn't have a conventional hearing aid solution. We think what we have created, self-fitting solution, is a great opportunity for these people to get on and hear better. Then you can say at the other end of the spectrum, we have this sort of really senior user where the motoric kind of ability, the dexterity in their fingers and so on, is not a great fit with very small, minute hearing aids. So this kind of market is called the geriatric or senior citizens market, really sort of at the end of, you can say, this sort of spectrum here. Again, many of these have had hearing aids before, but have maybe kind of stopped using them, or maybe they've not had anything before, and they need to start actually having something, because now they're at the age where they simply cannot hear anything, literally. And now a final member of, you can say, this group of people is the family member. And we know often that hearing aids are being bought by or recommended by members of a family. So of course, it's very important to us to have those people in mind as well. Today, our product portfolio consists of two main products built around the same hardware platform and kind of physical design. One is the hearing aid Ven that we are marketing and selling in Nepal and India primarily. And then the other, you can say, end of the spectrum is this advanced hearable called Companion. That's the product that is available now in Europe, but we're also introducing it in Japan, and we're also introducing it in China here in the coming months. The other product we have at the drawing table right now is our new hearing aid. It's in a more classic design called behind the ear, in the style called receiver in canal. And that is the one I will get back to in a little while, but this is the sort of next step for us, where we are taking, you can say, moving our set of activities into the more classic domain of hearing aids. But let's just delve into kind of the Ven product. This is the one, of course, we have been marketing since 22. And Ven is a fully fledged hearing aid for disabling hearing loss on both ears. Today, it has this opportunity to actually run a built-in self-fitting test. So you run the hearing test, and then subsequently it's being fitted to the person's hearing profile from the audiogram. Otherwise, it can be done by the dispenser, that is the audiologist professional that is in the clinic typically, that can basically key in the parameters of the person's audiogram. Otherwise than that, we have a really sort of packed product in terms of features. We're using the sort of top of the line fitting algorithm from NAL, which means that we handle the sound compression in the best way possible, we believe. And otherwise, we have got these different music programs and kind of relaxed programs and kind of street programs on the device that really optimizes the use of the device in different settings. Of course, with really good noise cancellation to handle all this kind of surrounding noise that you don't really want to listen to. And then, of course, super well integration with a smartphone, including an app that is an optional one that people can download and use for, you can say, a better experience. The most recent product we have introduced to the market is the Companion product. And this is actually positioned quite differently. It's not a hearing aid. It has the same hardware kind of performance, but it really is marketed as a hearing enhancement device, hearing enhancer, or assistive listening device, if you will. We use, you can say, some of our technology to provide a great personalization opportunity with sort of the solution we have developed called EarMap, which basically gives the person the opportunity to have a really a kind of personalized setup of the product, meaning really good sound when you're listening to music and television as well. So we emphasize this for situations where it's difficult for people to actually listening. They could be meetings, gatherings, conferences in front of the television and so forth. And this is the product that we are now bringing into both Japan and China as a foundation. And this picture here out to the right is from the Japanese localization of the box. The most recent addition to what we're working on is this new offering receiver and canal product. We call it the RIC product. The form factor I mentioned before, so it has all the quality features that you would find in our hearing aid Ven. It also therefore include dispenser fit, or it could also handle over-the-counter kind of channels where you actually have this sort of built-in for markets like in the US. Our aim is for it to be a really affordable product where we sort of bring in the sort of 19 channels, really high sort of sound output and a fitting range that really goes up towards the sort of profound area. So we really want to bring out a high-performance solution now that can help a lot of the people that, for various reasons, really prefer this form factor. And it comes with all these different ingredients that we know from our other offerings. Now, on top of all of this, as I mentioned, we started on the software platform licensing earlier this year. So this year we are starting up kind of gradually, and of course we're working with an existing partner already as part of our joint venture with our Chinese partner. And the aim for this really is to broaden our access to the market by working with companies who already has existing product businesses, ideally, of course, in the hearing and audio space, but otherwise some might have really good brands and the right channels to actually introduce such products to market. So what we're bringing into this is essentially a proven software platform, hardware reference designs, and then we would work with these individual partners on actually creating the offering that they can take to market. So we are using all our expertise and software assets and going into this, you can say, with a sort of aim to really broaden our reach and make our partners successful, of course. Today we have this offering that is also working on the smartphone for iOS and Android, and of course going forward we will need to support other platforms too, in the sense that these are popular in the different markets. So let's get back to kind of where we are with the business today. So business-wise, we have had a quite sort of quiet first quarter. We had the various sales we booked this year, but otherwise we are really ramping up now to introduce our offerings in these two new markets. That has really been our key focus of the quarter, the first quarter here. You will notice, of course, from previous years that we are on the ramp up revenue-wise, and this year, of course, we expect to improve on what we did in 23. And you can see from our, for example, EBITDA result as well, that we are running at a really sort of tight ship still, quite sort of lean operation. And of course, we're gonna invest some of the funding that we get from our current rights issue in go-to-market. That's really one of the primary areas, as well as, of course, investing in the new product development as well. But otherwise, we are sort of at this stage in the business where each quarter from now on should really have a very positive development. So outlook for the year, we have sort of in conjunction with our new issue memorandum published our aim for the year. So basically, we hope to sell between 5,000 and 6,000 units of our current products, Companion and Ven. And these are the primary markets in India, Japan, and China. And of course, we do expect to broaden our reach further, but right now in Europe, we are looking to invest more in go-to-market there. Sales revenue-wise, it also would correspond to around 5 to 6 million in revenue, including the actual prepaid products that we have had from our partner Hengtong already, that are going to be delivered here in the foreseeable future. This also would translate to an operating result EBITDA for the year of between minus 3.5 to minus 4.5 million Danish kroner. So it's an improved result over last year, and of course, this is our direction we want to take. We really have an aim of becoming a business that is sort of basically becoming profitable as soon as possible, and our aim really is to be that in next year. This year, we do not expect a large kind of influx from revenue from the software platform licensing, all related activities, but there may be something, but otherwise in the future, this is going to be what we would like to see becoming a more dominant part of our business. So I thought in this connection, because we talk about these new markets, I would like to give sort of a focused update on each of these markets where we are today, just so you understand where we are currently positioned. So today in China, we have our partner, Shenzhen Hengtong Partner Company, who invested in Audientes last year and also placed this prepaid order we are looking to deliver shortly. We announced also with Hengtong a plan to establish a joint venture in China, which we're working on right now. And the whole aim there is to accelerate the availability of new products for the Chinese and other markets, because when you manufacture and kind of market and so on, all within China, you actually get access to a faster approving cycle. It's not unlike in India. This is exactly how it is in India. So for us, it will really strengthen our market access tremendously. So right now, of course, we are working with Hengtong on the sort of pre-marketing, and of course, that's what they're carrying out. We're working on the sort of preparation of the products. That you can say now I can actually lift the veil for the name of the product. It has got a Chinese name that we're going to market it under. So it's called Xiyingyu, and I probably cannot pronounce that correctly in real Chinese, but it's a mixture of the words knowledge, music, and friend. And of course, friend relates to our other product called Ven. Of course, it also relates to the Companion, you can say, concept. So this, I think, is a very well chosen name and has taken a good while to find and register that, but now it's there. So now we are looking to really move into the shipment process in the Chinese market. Bit similar in Japan, we are also standing at the threshold to actually shipping products to Japan. We have done a lot of preparation since we made the distribution agreement with TD SYNNEX in Japan in October. We have launched the product and the actual organization and activities in Tokyo in November. And now in February, we actually set up the actual subsidiary. So we are fully operational now in the Japanese market, which is the key step in order to move into this phase we're in now, where we are shipping localized products into Japan very shortly. And we're starting the actual marketing initially with a sort of crowdfunding oriented campaign, really to get out there amongst the consumers and targeting the senior citizens market. But otherwise, moving from that into the more, you can say, discrete steps in the consumer awareness process and actually getting the products out in the channels. That is the key focus for the Japanese market now. And then finally, last but not least, in India, as you know, we have had our fair share of challenges there, but we are now, you can say, we're phasing out an earlier distribution exclusivity arrangement, and now we are really looking to revitalize our Indian marketing and sales effort. So we are now in discussions with various of our existing and new partners there, and really figuring out how to sort of move forward there. At the same time, of course, we are starting to look into this rig product, which means that we are going to launch something during 2025. So we're already now starting to talk to the channels about this and getting their feedback. So our aim is actually to try to move into this sort of local manufacturing and assembly of the product, which means that we need to think about how to do that and finding the right local, competent and suitable partners. At the same time, of course, we are also in Nepal, where we're working with our local partners. So all of this, you can say, is examples of being present in that market and figuring out what to do and in order to move forward in the best possible way. The overriding goal from being present in India, also with sort of this production setup, is actually to export from India to other surrounding countries in the region. That is very important, and you can say Nepal is sort of the first step in this sort of adjacent countries, and of course we believe that there's opportunity to go into even more. And then finally, in Europe, we are sort of in you can say present today. We need really to beef up the marketing and find out how to go to market in the different countries a bit more. But we are here now. We do have a product that is sellable. So as a sort of final step here before moving into the rights issue issues, just wanted to recap on the sort of investment, you can say, summary around Audientes. So you can see that we have this innovative product line available now, and it's available in key markets, and there's really is a significant potential for growth. We are sort of de-risk the development of our initial products. We are in the market, so now you can say there isn't sort of any technical issues to be addressed here. This is sort of, you can say, really now time to move products off the shelves and in the hands of consumers. We made this strategic pivot to software licensing early in the year, and we believe this will open up new opportunities for us to partner and to sort of play in new arenas. And of course, this whole notion of using our software in a new setting is why we are moving into this, creating a new product, introducing it next year. We're not in the position where we have to create the whole software platform from scratch. We have that now. Now we're looking at the actual kind of physical embodiment of a great product in this behind the ear design, and our aim really is China and India when it comes to introducing this, but it will be made as a product that can be put into more markets as you can say, time goes. So we believe that we are in a really good position to actually get this stronger position in the value chain within the hearing health industry, and really focus on affordable self-fitting hearing aids and hearables. That is where we see our unique opportunity. So with those words, I think now is the sort of you can say the more technical steps around this the rights issue, and of course our overall plan for capitalizing the company further. As we have set out earlier, our aim this year is to really secure in the order of 10 to 11 million in financing, in order to really add the necessary fuel to our business, product-wise and marketing-wise. So initial step here is now this rights issue for existing shareholders. You got preemptive rights to actually buy shares. But of course, we also have some convertible bridge loan and we have also previously been looking into directed share issues, and all of this is, you can say, options on the table. We do have existing remaining convertible loans that we are seeking to also take care of in the coming months. Our lenders have had the opportunity to convert the loan to shares at market price at different times throughout the year as we publish financial reports, and we expect them to do so also in the future. But we are working on a range of opportunities, of course, to move the business forward. But it is critical for us that we are, of course, being able to access new funding to really develop the business as we plan to do. So a bit sort of technical again, but earlier this second quarter here in the year, we had an EGM held where it was decided to reduce the nominal share kind of value per share from 0.1 Danish kroner to 0.01. And this really is so we can go out now and actually offer new shares. So it was done together with also a kind of share capital reduction to kind of really addressing deficits as we have reported. But the net takeaway from these two exercises was that the number of shares in the company is maintained, but now we have a lower nominal value per share. So this, of course, is important because we are offering the shares currently at 0.035 Danish kroner. So this was an important, step to take to get to that point. But then we were able to announce on the 14th of May this new issue of shares with preemptive rights. That's the so-called rights issue, and we are at the middle of the subscription period. So if we succeed with a fully subscribed issue, we will increase the share capital with a nominal sort of 1.39 million Danish kroner. That will mean basically a good number of new shares issued, and we will be sort of seeing a net sort of profits after we sort of pay the different costs associated with the issue of around 4.1 million as we projected right now. We already have pre-subscription commitments of around 26% of this rights issue, and that is just around 1.3 million. So it's not a very large issue of shares, kind of in monetary terms, but it is, you can say, what we believe is required to get us to the next level, and then you can say deliver value, deliver the business, and then I think we are going to be in an improved situation at that stage. There will be an opportunity to convert some existing debt as part of this rights issue, so in order to really improve and strengthen the balance sheet as well. So as I mentioned, the timeline, I think we are now in the middle of the subscription period. People are able to trade in subscription rights, and then you can say we're moving forward then towards next week, where you can say the last day will be announced as a company announcement. And we will actually be publicizing the final outcome of the rights issue probably around June the 10th. So the different areas we would like to focus on with this rights issue in terms of where we're going to invest the funds, at least I would say around half of that, 50%, is to be dedicated to marketing the product in Japan, in Europe, and India and Nepal. Of course, our Chinese partner, you can say the setup we have with them is that they invest in go-to-market in China, whereas in the other locations we have our own presence. Then we have allocated some funds for the development of the RIG hearing aid product. But of course, since we're doing this with local partners, there is also contribution from the local partners to those projects. And then, of course, we also expect to basically pay off some existing debt with our manufacturer OSM Group for products already delivered. And then, of course, various other costs that you incur in the course of the business that are related to compliance and general and administrative costs, 20%. So this is kind of how we envisage the funds being invested. If you look at sort of the basic details, I mentioned this a bit earlier, but the subscription price is set at 0.035 Danish kroner per share, 3.5 Danish øre. That is approximately 30% discount on the VWAP price of the prior 10 days to the 13th of May. And so basically how it works is that you can sort of subscribe to the shares on a pro rata basis, and you can use existing you can say, shareholders' rights to these new shares. And there's also the opportunity, of course, to subscribe for more shares than you actually have subscription rights for. That is quite easily done in quite a few of these banks and Nordnet and so on. Otherwise, we do have subscription forms available on our website, audientes.com. In practical terms, what we decided was that for each share a shareholder has on the kind of record date, and basically you get 2 subscription rights. So it's the ratio of kind of 2 to 1. So it's sort of it's a very simple way to think about it. So if you had 1 million shares, you have now subscription rights to buy 2 million shares at this price. We are not going to necessarily cap anyone. That has not been the plan. But of course, any unused subscription rights that may lapse or has not been traded and so on, there is no compensation due on those. But other shareholders, other investors can actually go in and, of course, utilize those, leverage those as part of their interest in buying more shares. And of course, the allocation is only guaranteed for the shares that you subscribe through whatever subscription rights that you already have. So this is a really straightforward issue of new shares. But we can, of course, any questions, we will always be very willing to help in that regard. And as you mentioned, Mikael, we had this Q1 reporting last week where we also had an event like this. And now, of course, we are moving into sort of second quarter. We are here now, but the reporting of the second quarter and half year will be done in late August when we are all back from vacation. So this is what I had prepared for this event. We are looking forward to take any questions, and otherwise, thank you very much for your time.
Perfect. Yeah, but let's jump into some questions. I think you went through the subscription part pretty good, as always. We are reminded that this is a normal one, so you can actually subscribe to more shares than you have subscriptions right to. You are just not you are not just preferred. You will not be sure to have it. So that's this, and of course the dates. Be careful with those. Banks are probably closing down 2-3 days before the actual dates set by the stock market. So just be aware of that. But let's jump into some questions. Do you have any negotiation with licensed partners outside China? What about the US?
I mean, we don't really disclose who we market to right now, but we are not currently engaged in the US. Okay. But I would say it's one of these markets that are you can say that there is a number of different actors that are definitely interesting, but we haven't really taken that step yet.
Then how committed and which cost will the joint venture partner in China take on, and how much are you going to pay?
Yeah, so basically this is essentially an equity-based joint venture where the company will be set up as a for-profit. So we are currently looking into those terms. We are not expecting to have a majority share in that joint venture. The logic is that is a Chinese partner, but where we are bringing in our platform technology license and so forth. So we are, you can say, we are the smaller partner in that sense.
Perfect. Which approvals will you need to get before you can market a new type of hearing aids?
Well, that does depend on which market. So in China, it's what we call the Chinese FDA. Or NMPA, that is the sort of local medical device approval. In India, it's the Indian MDR, not confusing with the European MDR because the abbreviation stands for something slightly different. But it is the medical device kind of regulation in India that we would need, and same is the case in the US. It would be FDA approval. Depending on what category that you are putting the product into. And then in Europe, of course, it's the European MDR.
And then a little bit about price. You are affordable hearing aid. Now you're going down in another form factor. Can you still make this affordable? Is it more expensive to compress all those into a smaller hearing aid, but of course also a form factor that we are maybe more used to. So that advantage. So a little bit about the affordability. Are you still affordable? Are you moving more where the general hearing aid manufacturers are?
So we haven't set the retail price yet, but our aim really is to offer a really compelling package at a really attractive price point. Production cost wise, you can say the current design we have is actually it's a premium design with the materials being used and the sort of different choices made. It's I would say material wise, for doing a smaller behind the ear device, you probably have a quite cost reduction there that is quite significant. But you say on the other hand, you need to spend more time perhaps on miniaturizing the actual solution. So, but I think our aim is that we don't want to move up in the next tier. We really would like to be in this place where you can say price is important and quality is desired. That's where we would like to be. But rest assured, we will work with our partners on setting the right price. But it has to be attractive.
And then regarding the chipsets, I think your software has developed, and I think you say that you can also run that in the rig or the BTE rig. Is there no other chip architecture that means you can't run that when you miniaturize it, or is that totally transferable?
Well, there are of course always decisions to be made regarding the actual packaging of a chip. Does it have the right size for the product? So there are different packages, different options that you can go for when you are looking to design something into a new form factor. So we of course looking at that, and there's also other chip architectures that one can consider in that sense. But we're looking to make as few changes as possible at this stage in order to really accelerate the time to market. So.
And then last question, plan B if you don't get the full amount from the capital raise. So a little bit a question here whether you have a plan B if this rights issue preferred is not fully subscribed.
Yeah, well then our plan B would then to consider the different other options that we have had previously with, you can say, a directed share issue or loan financing, or going out and actually looking at the different costs that we had built into the budget. How can we otherwise address those? Are there something our partners can, you can say, take on instead of us, and so on? So we would then of course reassess the plans made, and then you can say do the necessary to kind of make the changes.
Perfect. That was the last question. Thank you, Sten, for taking us through the question. The presentation and answering question. And thank you for people listening in.
Thank you very much.